Hi everyone! Welcome back to my channel, GTR Math Tutorial. So in this video, I will discuss about variance and standard deviation of a discrete probability distribution. So here's our objectives. At the end of the lesson, you should be able to illustrate and calculate variance and standard deviation of a discrete random variable. Interpret the variance and standard deviation of a discrete random variable and solve problems involving variance and standard deviation of probability distribution. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so the variance and standard deviation describe the amount of spread, dispersion, or variability of the items in a distribution. Ayan, so ang sinusukat ng variance ay yung spread, dispersion, or variability. So yung pagkakaiba-iba ng bawat item sa distribution. So it allows us to compare two distributions with the same mean but with possible different amounts of spread. So kung meron tayong dalawang distribution na parehas ng mean, tapos magkaiba siya ng spread or variance and standard deviation, ibig sabihin niyan, yung mas maliit na standard deviation, ibig sabihin nun, mas malapit yung maliit yung pagkakaiba-iba or yung spread or variability nung distribution na yon. Or ibig sabihin, mas maliit na standard deviation, mas lapit-lapit yung mga data natin. Okay? So ito ang symbol for variance and standard deviation. So ayan, symbol for variance is sigma. Sigma square. So parang letter O na may buntot lang sa taas. And then standard deviation is just the square root of the variance. So variance, sigma square, standard deviation is sigma. Sigma lang. Okay? So ito yung formula for the variance and standard deviation of a discrete probability distribution. Okay, so formula for variance, sigma square equals x minus mu square times p of x. Then, for standard deviation, just get the square root of the variance. Okay, so where x is the value of the random variable, p of x is the probability of the random variable x, and mu is the mean of the probability distribution. Yan, so kailangan muna nating kuhanin ang mean. Okay, so here are the steps in finding the variance and standard deviation. Okay, 1. Find the mean of the probability distribution. Then, subtract the mean from each value of the random variable x. Square the results obtained in step 2. Multiply the results obtained in step 3 by the corresponding probability. Then, get the sum of the results obtained in step 4. So, yun na yung variance natin. Then, to get the standard deviation, get the square root of the variance to get the standard deviation. Okay, so example. Example number 1. The number of cell phones sold per day at a cell phone shop with its corresponding probabilities is shown in the table. So find the variance and standard deviation of the probability distribution. Okay, so x natin is 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. P of x, so verify lang natin if probability distribution siya. So dapat ang total is 1. So pag inad natin yan, so lahat ng denominators ay 10. So pag inad natin, so we have just add the numerator, 1 over 10 plus 2 over 10 plus 3 over 10 plus 2 over 10 plus 2 over 10 is equal to 10 over 10 equals 1. Okay? So probability distribution siya. Okay, so step 1. Find the mean of the probability distribution. So to find the mean, so just multiply x and p of x. So let's multiply. So we have 0 times 1 over 10 is 0. Then we have 1 times 2 over 10. That is 2 over 10. Then we have 2 times 3 over 10. So that is equal to 6 over 10. Then 3 times 2 over 10 is also 6 over 10. Then 4 times 2 over 10 is 8 over 10. Okay, so i-add lang natin ang x times p of x column natin. So we have 2 over 10 plus 6 over 10 plus 6 over 10 plus 8 over 10. Since similar fractions, just add the numerator. So therefore, we have 22 over 10. So convert to decimal. So that is, just divide 22 divided by 10. That is equal to 2.2. Okay? So our mean, mu, is equal to 2.2. Okay, so next step. Step number 2, subtract the mean from each value of the random variable x. So itong mean natin na 2.2, isasubtract lang natin sa ating random variable x. Okay, so subtract 0 minus 2.2, that is equal to negative 2.2. So next we have 1 minus 2.2 is negative 1.2. 2 minus 2.2 is negative 0.2. Then we have 3 minus 2.2 is 0.8. Then last, 4 minus 2.2 is 1.8. Okay, so next step, square the results obtained in step 2. So, square lang natin ang negative 2.2. Okay, so negative 2.2 square, just multiply by itself. The answer is 4.84. So next, we have 1.2 square. Negative 1.2 square is 1.44. Negative 0.2 square equals 0.04. 0.8 square equals 0.64. And then last, 1.8 square is 3.24. And step number 4, multiply the results obtained in step 3 by the corresponding probability. So, ibig sabihin, itong column na ito, i-multiply lang natin sa p of x. Okay? So, yung p of x, pwede muna nating i-convert siya as fraction. As decimal. Sorry. So, 1 over 10, that is 0.10. So, divide muna natin. 1 divided by 10 is 0.10 times 4.84. Okay? So, the answer is 0.484. So, next, we have 2 over 10, 0.2, multiplied by 1.44 equals 0.288. 3 divided by 10 is 0.3, multiplied by 0.04. So, we have 0.012, 0.012. So, 2 divided by 10 is 0.2, multiplied by 0.64 equals 0.128. Then last, we have 2 over 10 is 0.10 or 0.2 multiplied by 3.24, that is 0.648. Then, move to step number 5. Get the sum of the results obtained in step 4. The result is the value of the variance. Okay, so just add lang natin ito. Yan na yung ating variance. So, pwede tayong gumamit ng calculator para isolve yan. So, pag sinolve natin yan, so, ang answer ay yan. So yan na yung variance natin. Summation of x squared, summation of x minus mu squared times p of x. Yan. So, summation yan. So, when we get the sum, the answer is 1.560. Or tanggalin na natin yung 0. So, 1.56. Okay? So, yun na yung variance natin, 1.56. Then, step number 6. get the square root of the variance to get the standard deviation. Okay? So, kunin lang natin ang square root ng 1.56. Yun na ang value ng ating standard deviation. Okay? So, square root of 1.56 equals 1.25. Okay? So, ito na yung ating standard deviation. And then, variance is 1.56. So, kung mapapansin nyo, ang standard deviation natin, so ang palatandaan dyan, tingnan nyo lang yung value ng x. Kapag medyo dikit-dikit, ayan, so ito yung x natin, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, yung pagkakaiba niya, parang, or pag tinignan nyo yung value ng x, magkakadikit naman siya. Sunod-sunod lang. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, kapag ganyan, ang magiging standard deviation natin, tsaka variance, maliit lang din. Okay? Since malapit yung value ng x sa isa't isa, or yung spread, or yung variability ng x natin, maliit lang. So, pag ganyan, expect natin ng standard deviation yan. So, yan, mababa lang. 1.25, variance is 1.56. So, pag naging halimbawa, ano yan, naging 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, so siguro magiging standard deviation na yan. So, bandang 10 na rin. Dahil 10 yung pagitan. So, mga bandang 11 to 12 to 13. Depende pa rin syempre dito sa value ng P of X natin. Okay, so ganun ang pag-estimate ng value ng variance and standard deviation. Kapag yung x natin ay malapit sa isa't isa, dapat ang makuha natin na variance and standard deviation maliit lang. So kagaya sa example natin, 1.56 ang variance and standard deviation is 1.25. So maliit lang. Okay, so next. Okay, so meron tayong isa pang formula for variance and standard deviation of a discrete probability distribution. So, variance, so we have summation of x squared times p of x minus mu squared. Okay, so alternative formula to. So, syempre, ang standard deviation, just get the square root. Okay, so solve natin yung example natin using this formula. Kailangan makuha natin, ganun pa rin answer. So, variance natin is 1.56. Then, standard deviation is 1.25. Okay, so kailangan yan pa rin na makuha natin gamit itong formula na ito. Okay, so kailangan din natin ng mu. So, balikan natin yung table natin. Yan, so hanggang dun sa nasolve na natin yung mean natin na 2.2. So, ang kailangan lang natin na additional column is x squared times p of x. Yan. So, add tayo ng isa pang column sa table natin. Yan. X squared times p of x. So, ibig sabihin, i-square daw natin ang x natin, i-square natin ang x, then multiply by p of x. Yan. 0 squared times 1 over 10. Okay, so 0 times 0 is 0 times 1 over 10, so 0 pa rin siya. Okay, next. So 1 squared times 2 over 10, so that's equal to, yan, 1 squared is 1 pa rin, times 2 over 10, 2 over 10 pa rin siya. Okay, so next. Burahin muna natin. Okay, so next we have 2 squared times 3 over 10. So the answer will be 2 squared, that is 4, times 3 over 10 is 12 over 10. Okay, so next we have 3 squared times 2 over 10. So that is equal to 3 squared is 9 times 2, 18 over 10. Then finally, we have 4 squared times 2 over 10. So that is 4 squared is 16 times 2 over 10 is 32 over 10. Then, get the sum. Yan, so kunin lang natin ang sum na to. Yan, so pag kinuha natin ang sum, since similar fractions naman siya, So, over 10 lahat. So, just add the numerator. 2 plus 12, 2 over 10 plus 12 over 10, that is 14 over 10, plus 18 over 10 is, then na yun, 2, 18. So, that is 32 over 10 plus another 32 over 10, that is 64 over 10. Or convert to decimal, 64 divided by 10, that is 6.4. Okay, so gamitin na natin yung formula ngayon. So, substitute natin. So, yan ang mga kailangan natin. Yung 6.4 and then 2.2. So, just substitute sa formula natin. Yan, sigma square equals summation of x squared times p of x. So, ito na nga yung 6.4. Summation of x squared times p of x minus the mu square. So, yan. So, 2.2 yung mu natin or mean. So, substitute lang natin. So, we have sigma square is equal to 6.4 minus 2.2 square. So, gamitin lang natin ang ating calculator. So, the variance is, yan. So, same answer dun sa isang formula, 1.56. So, the standard deviation, just get the square root. Yan. So, standard deviation is square root of 1.56. Pumiyok ha. Okay, so therefore, sigma is equal to 1.25. Okay, so same answer, magkaibang formula. Pares lang tayo ng answer, 1.56 ang variance, and then standard deviation is 1.25. Okay, so another example. What is the example number 2? What is the standard deviation of the results if a number is picked from a jar containing 2 ones, 3 fours, and 5 6? Okay, so gawin muna natin ang ating probability distribution. So wala pa tayong given na table. So ilista muna natin ang ating sample space. So we have 2 ones. Ayan, so dalawang 1. Then we have 3 fours. Ayan, tatlong 4. And then 5 6. So ito na ang ating sample space. So, gagawa tayo ng probability distribution. So, therefore, sulat lang natin ang ating x and then p of x. Okay, so ang mga random variable x natin ay ang mga given na numbers natin. So, we have 1, 4, and 6. So, anong probability natin kapag yan, number is picked from a jar containing 2 ones, 3 fours, and 5 6. So, ang probability na makuha natin ay 1. So, ilan ba ang 1? Meron tayong dalawang 1. So, that is 2 out of the total natin is, ilan lahat yan? 10. So, yan. So, when x is 1, p of x is 2 over 10. When x is 4, meron tayong tatlong 4. So, we have 3 over 10. And then, when x is 6, okay, so meron tayong 5, so 5 over 10. So, yan ang ating probability distribution sa problem na ito. So, pag inad natin 2 over 10, 3 over 10, and then 5 over 10, that is 10 over 10 or 1. Okay? So, yan ang ating probability distribution table. So, burahin lang natin yung mga sinulat para makita nyo mabuti. Okay, so yan ang ating probability distribution. So, sundin lang natin yung step natin. So, ang gamitin na lang natin ay yung pangalawa para mas mabilis. Okay, so kunin muna natin ang mean. So, get the mean. So, add another column for, yan. So, we have x times p of x. So, multiply lang isa-isa yan. So, we have 1 times 0.2, that is 0.2. Then we have 4 times 0.3, that is 1.2. And then 6 times 0.5 is equal to 3. So now get the sum. 0.2 plus 1.2 plus 3. So the answer is 4.4. So ang mean na natin is 4.4. Then, another column, x squared times p of x. Okay? So x squared times p of x. So all we have to do is square the x natin. So square lang natin yan, isa-isa. Then multiply to p of x. So pagka-square, multiply natin dito sa ating p of x. Okay, so 1 square times 0.2, that is equal to 0.2. Then we have 4 squared, that is 16 times 0.3 will give us 4.8. Then 6 squared times 0.5 equals 18. So now get the sum. Yan, so get the sum. So we have 0.2 plus 4.8 plus 18. The answer is 23. Okay, so next, substitute to the formula. So the standard deviation. So standard deviation na kailangan natin. Okay, so substitute to the formula is square root of summation of x squared times p of x minus mu squared. So, ang summation of x squared times p of x natin is 23, while ang min natin is 4.4. So, square lang natin yan. So, substitute the given. Yan. So, square root of 23 minus 4.4 square. So, just use your calculator. So, we have square root of 3.64. So, yung square root of 3.64, yan na yung ating variance. So, ito na yung ating variance. Pero dahil lang hinahanap lang naman natin is standard deviation. So, get the square root of 3.64. The answer is 1.91. So, again, kaya ang standard deviation natin medyo maliit lang, 1.91. Kasi yung x natin hindi naman ganun kalayo sa isa't isa. So, 1, 4, and 6. So, medyo malapit lang. So, kaya ang standard deviation natin medyo maliit lang din. So, 1.91. Okay? So, kung may question kayo, comment nyo lang. Comment nyo lang sa baba yung mga question nyo. Pag meron kayo medyo hindi naintindihan or yan, basta related sa topic na ito. So, comment lang kayo. Okay, so ito ang aking mga references na ginamit para sa video lesson na ito. Then, thank you for watching. So, kapag ito yung first time nyo, please subscribe and hit the bell button para updated kayo sa mga susunod pang mga videos. Bye-bye!